Okay, now what is it that you have to do?
Okay, so how NASCAR racing started back in 1919. So when beer became illegal, they needed these really fast drivers to go and sell beer, and they have races, get to see who's the fastest, and that's how it started.
Really?
Was it legal to drink beer? Or did they have to do it fast so that because it was illegal? Do you know?
They had to do it fast.
Yeah,
'cause
who
it was
were they?
illegal.
Who were they racing away from? Who was chasing
The police.
Yeah.
So it was illegal. Oh my. So it was like bootlegging. Bootlegging the alcohol, which means they had to run from the police. And that's where racing started. Now you have taught me something I didn't
I didn't know that either.
Yes.
How cool is
Moonshine
that?
Started racing.
And I can tell you about F1 too, which is even faster than IndyCar.
That's the formula racing, which is IndyCar, right? F1 is IndyCar.
No, F1 is even faster than IndyCar.
It is?
Mhm.
Which is your favorite?
My favorite team has to be either McLaren or Ferrari.
You know a lot about racing. When did this happen?
Okay, so F1 racing started way back in 1950.
Kid, you're blowing me away.
And where are the F1 tracks that you want to go see?
One's at Monza, Italy,
Le Mans?
Texas, Canada. Those are all tracks I want to go to.
I'd give anything in the world if next weekend you could be in my city to watch the Indy racing. Too bad. Next year we'll plan on that.
Yeah.
I promise you, you'll be at that race next year.
Except it'll be a school day.
Well, it doesn't matter. You'll
No,
be
it's-
there.
Well, they do it on the weekends.
They do it on the
They
weekends.
do it during the week, but
Fridays-
they finish Saturday,
Friday,
Sunday.
Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday's the race. Friday's qualifying, Saturday's the pre-racing positioning, and Sunday's the
Why
race.
can I not check it?
So, tell me some more about racing. So, your favorite team you think is the F1s?
Ferrari or McLaren?
Okay, that's your favorite team. Gotcha. Not
Who's
the
your
style.
favorite racer?
Charles Leclerc. He drives for Ferrari.
Have you seen the movie Ford versus Ferrari?
Mhm.
Did you? And did you like it?
Yeah.
I liked it too. I just recently watched it.
Mhm.
It was on, I don't know,
Prime.
Netflix or Prime. Yeah, something.
I
I don't
haven't
know.
seen that movie, but I wanted to see it.
If you were a race car, which type of car would you be?
Probably a Ferrari.
Gotcha. I'd be right there with you too. However, I have some pretty diehard Ford fans that have the Shelbys and
What
the
color
GT.
would your car be?
Yeah.
Noah and one of his classmates
Red, obviously.
were talking about how fast you run, and the classmate was faster than Noah, and Noah told him, well, that's fine, you're like a NASCAR and I'm like an F1.
Oh.
No, he's like a dragster, and I'm like an F1.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because dragsters only go quarter mile, but F1s go miles.
They go lots of miles. So I'm going to show you on this phone here the racing that happens in my city. And you know what's super cool about it?
What?
It goes in and out of the city buildings. It goes along the airport runway. It comes out by the water and goes back through the city. And they just go through the city rip roaring about 200 miles an hour. And I used to live a mile from it, and I would hear it every week or every 3 days they were there every year. Just like bees. That's all you'd hear all weekend long. It was pretty rough, but if you're there watching it, it's pretty intense. So tell me about your shirt. Where'd that come from?
Oh, I got it at Elko Motor Speedway after a race.
Yeah, and is that here up in Minnesota somewhere?
Yep.
I thought so.
Yeah, we don't live far from it.
That's pretty awesome. And I seen you were there a couple weekends ago, right?
Yeah. Well, it was more like 2 months ago.
Yeah, when Grandma or Mama Cindy was here.
Yeah.
I saw that. That's nice. And you've been to a couple NASCAR races, right?
No, I've not been to a NASCAR race, but Dad was planning to take me to one, but because of COVID, they canceled it.
You had tickets for the Kansas City Motor Speedway.
Yep.
Wow.
They were supposed to go in May.
Well, I have a feeling that we might be seeing a race sooner than later. They're racing again, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Except
exciting.
they don't allow fans.
Right. Some places I think they're starting to allow fans on a limited level, but I think that's what they're doing in my city next weekend. So the good thing about my city is even if they take you out, you can still see it because the high-rise buildings. You just find somebody that has a high-rise and you get there and get to watch it.
Oh, cool.
Well, thank you for all your information. Do you have any more you want to share?
I know of some of the drivers that died. One, Ayrton Senna, he died in a wreck.
Who's that?
Ayrton Senna.
Okay.
He is a 5-time champion, and he died in 1994 in a wreck. And
Wow. And what racing does he do? What style?
F1.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, he's
See?
a roll F1 driver. And then there's this other driver that raced in the 70s, and he died in 1990 or 1999, and yeah, he died of cancer.
Oh.
And then this is another driver that almost got killed in a wreck in the 70s, but survived longer than James Hunt. And his name is Nicky Lauda. And he died like last year of old age.
How old was
Was
he?
there a guy that was hurt and paralyzed? I can't think of his name. I kind of ran in, came in somewhere that I was working in a wheelchair and everything, and he was in a, I don't know what car though. I don't know what kind of car it was though.
I think that was NASCAR or IndyCar.
Do you
Not
know
Schumacher.
the name of the guy who had a wreck right before the final one? And then he retired. Do you remember who that was?
No.
You told me there was a guy who raced and he had a bad wreck and he had one more to go and he was the champion. And then he retired because he didn't want to die in his last race.
I think that was Schumacher.
Okay.
Schumacher. That's who I was thinking too.
And how did you learn all this information?
From my dad.
Wow, he knows that much about racing as well?
They watch history racing TV on, is it
Aw.
Netflix or Amazon? Or-
Amazon.
Amazon
and
has a
Netflix.
series.
And you
that
retain
teaches
all
you.
that. Wow.
He could tell you just as much information about
Oh yeah,
trains.
he didn't die, but yeah, that was Nicky Lauda, but he didn't die. He almost got killed.
And he was trapped in the car on a fire?
Yeah, for 1 minute, which was really dangerous.
Have they done a lot of things to help the drivers so they live?
They've made the cars a lot safer. But you know, funny thing is about it, we made cars a lot safer and a lot faster.
And their necks are stabilized. And
Are you going to be a race car driver?
Well, that was my dream, and then I found out it was way too dangerous. Because drivers have been killed.
maybe
But-
you can make it kind of a hobby.
But you know, people can get killed just walking down the road or driving a car too, right?
Yeah.
So you can't be in fear of danger, but you have to be conscious of danger for sure.
Yep.
But it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it because it's dangerous. But if
Yeah.
that's the way you really feel, then that's great. But don't let fear take you out of doing something you really want to do someday. What's that?
They can't be very dangerous.
Yes, it's very dangerous. Yeah. I used to ride a motorcycle, you
He
remember.
thought it would be too scary because he wants to be a family man and have kids and get married, and he doesn't want to die.
But do you think all those race car drivers don't have families and children and all that
I
good
bet
stuff?
you. Well, I know one driver that I love that I root for in NASCAR. Christopher Bell. He is new in the truck series, the Monster Energy series, and he has a family.
Yeah. So see, you can have a family and do all that stuff, but you really do have to be conscious of what happens in life, and the decisions you make have consequences.
Yeah.
However, I rode a motorcycle for 20 years and I'm still living. I'm still here. A lot of people have died, a lot of people have been hurt, but I got lucky or fortunate and the good Lord's been with me or whatever, but I'm still here. I mean, guess what? You might can race a car someday and still be here to tell us about it when you're 30.
Well, I might
not be
buy
here,
a
but-
race car and then just. Oh, I might drive I might buy if I have a lot of money, I might buy like a Ferrari or a McLaren, and I'll just be driving around streets.
And see, that's pretty cool too. So that's
just
what,
cruise.
yeah. But what happens when you get a hold of speed and you get it in your system and you push the pedal, you might be on a racetrack someday. No, I was going the other direction, the fun direction. I'm all about fun. I'm not about fear and
I'm
danger.
not sure he's wired that way.
He will be. He will be if he keeps hanging around us. But you know what? You be cautious anytime you want to in life, but at the same time, always have fun and just be smart, right?
Noah, what do you want to do when you grow up?
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, my dream was to be a race car driver, and now I don't even know what I want to be.
You'll figure it out.
Well, don't give up on your dream of being a race car driver.
Well, it basically is already given up. It basically
Wow.
is. And all that did was this IndyCar movie I'm watching.
Because he died?
Well, IndyCar actually also started in the 50s.
Wow.
And it was about IndyCars racing at Indianapolis in the 50s. And about drivers getting killed.
Oh, goodness. It was very scary back then, though. There was no protection pretty much of any kind. That Ford versus Ferrari, we saw that, right? There was a lot of craziness that went on
Even
with
think
that.
of Dale Earnhardt, how things changed after he died.
Yeah.
I mean, you never ever would have expected he was going to die from that accident.
After
No.
2001.
What?
Yeah, a lot of things changed.
Did you enjoy that, Brooke? Yeah, we learned something today, didn't we? Well, Mr. Noah Buchanan, we thank you for all your time today and help, because someday in the future we'll look back on this and you'll have a lot more knowledge, or you'll be sitting behind a race car. I'm not for sure which is going to happen, but one of them will. Goodbye.
Bye.